Hey guys, welcome to my newest review here on Air Gaming, and we're going to be talking about Jurassic World Evolution and all the DLCs. We're going to be talking about the base game, we're going to be talking about Secrets of Dr. Wu, we're going to be talking about Claire's Sanctuary, and we're going to talk about the return to Jurassic Park. But we'll do all those later. First off, it's been a while since I've been here with you guys. I want to say thank you for everybody who watched the series. Please do go subscribe to the channel and go check it out if you haven't. Now, I know the game is slightly old. Not going to lie. I know it's a bit old. It's a PS4 game, but it was chosen by you, so I had to play it. And then we're going to have Jurassic World Evolution 2. Then Jurassic World Rebirth is going to come out. And then hopefully we'll finally hear about Jurassic World Evolution 3. Because we all know it exists, but at the moment it basically hasn't been confirmed. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it and obviously talk about DLC later. We're going to start with the base game. And the story is not going to take long, if I'm honest. It is it's a part building simulation game. There is not really a story in any of these. The principle behind it is it's set on the five death islands from the Jurassic World franchise. So Isla Nublar, Sauna, I'm going to say Penna, and I can't Tucano, and I can't pronounce the last one. I'm not going to try because I'm going to do a real disservice. And basically what you do is you make your way through them. Each park has slightly different issues with it that you've got to work around and a slightly different theme that you've got to work through, and you pretty much just have to build a park. But there's a little bit more that I'll talk about in a little minute. But it's about making the park successful, obviously. There's one island that is also the sandbox, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, so island number 5 is a sandbox. The other 4 are the ones where you've got the main game. I'm going to say parks, really, rather, because you don't have the whole island. You have an area on it. So yeah, the things like you might have a smaller island, poorer weather, less money. They're the kind of challenges you're dealing with, along with the other bit that I'll talk about. They have included a bit of voice acting. I don't think it's the actual actors for like Malcolm and Owen Grady, but they try and create a little bit of story to it. It doesn't massively work. I mean, like I think it's really good voice acting. I like it, and it's quite good fun. But it doesn't really do that much for the non-existent story, as it was. But anyway, it does also include a guy called Cabot Fitch, who I think was made up for the game, and then he's in Dominion. Is he not in Dominion? I don't know. I've not actually seen Dominion. It's really bad, isn't it? Apparently it's not that good. But I am going to go watch Rebirth, which I'm very excited about. Really do like the look of that one. So yeah. He's in it. He's great fun. I'm not going to lie. He's really good fun. He's the best character in the game. Always makes me laugh. But genuinely, that is it. Once you get 5 stars on the final island, bang! We go into we go into the credits. I can't remember. I don't even think they say anything to you. They just go, oh no, I think Malcolm says something about you've played God or beaten life, something like that, I think. And then it's just straight into the credits. So that shows you how little story that actually is in the game. And also, apologies if the screen keeps shaking. I'm having to use a slightly wonky table to keep my notes on. And when I touch the table, I mean, I'm not touching like that. I'm touching the laptop on the table to move down the notes. It's moving this. So yeah, sorry about that. So, right, okay, gameplay. Let's get on to the gameplay. The main gameplay loop is as you would expect. Create dinosaurs, look after dinosaurs, look after your guests who come to see the dinosaurs, make money, get better dinosaurs, get more guests, and improve your park. Ba 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 ba. And then get, I was about to do that, but that's 10 stars. Get 5 stars. That's the plan. That's basically like every other park builder, just with slight changes to certain things. But yeah, obviously, the dinos are a lot different than a lot of other park builders, but they are just extinct animals. They're just animals from a long time ago. So not that dissimilar to Planet Zoo. Or Zoo Tycoon, you get dinosaurs on Zoo Tycoon, didn't you? So yeah, that is effectively the same thing, I'd have said. Yeah, because why not? Right. I don't know where I was going with that one. There is a slightly new mechanic in this compared to other simulation games. Not all. So the newest mechanic, I would say, that's in this game that's a bit different to not other Jurassic World, other part builders, is the departments, working with different departments, science, entertainment, and security. Basically, you improve your rating with the department by completing a contract for them, and as you get more and more reputation with them, you'll get rewards, but also your reputation will lower with the other departments, so you have to kind of balance it out a little bit. Because if you don't and you let somebody really crash and fail, they'll sort of punish you. They'll release dinosaurs, they'll turn the power off and things like that. It's nothing major and you can sort it, but as you get towards the end of the game, it gets a bit more of a pain in the arse. But it's nothing huge. So you kind of do it. But you do this mechanic to get the rewards of stuff to upgrade. Sometimes you get new dinosaur fossils, things like that, so they're worth doing. But mainly you want to unlock the missions for that department by getting a certain rep, and that's the main thing for each island. You have a mission with each of them, and then once you've completed that, and you don't have to complete that, but that's kind of what you're meant to do. You 3-star an island, and then that unlocks the next island. So you do these missions. The contracts are simple things like produce X dinosaur. Take a photo of dinosaurs doing Y. Don't let the power go off for so long. Don't let anyone die. Simple things. And they're pretty much the same across all the departments. Sometimes security and entertainment have dinosaurs fighting. I don't think science does. But then other departments, but basically they're all sort of shared between each other, so there's not really focused on them. They're just to make you a bit of money and get the rep. The missions are the more involved things on each island, and they're a little bit more related to the department in a way. So the science missions often are produce certain dinosaurs of certain quality and sort of kind of watch them. So I've usually the science missions on killing each other and attacking each other. That's the security ones, who are more like produce carnivores and keep them safe, and then entertainment's kind of like maybe put these dinosaurs together and see what happens. So yeah, so you do these missions and then you get a big chunk of money at the end, and you get a reward as well for that, a better reward than usually just the normal stuff. But like I say, these are more involved. You sort of go through multiple steps to do them. They'll be like, do this, and then when you've done that, do that. But I like the missions most of the time. They're quite, like I say, they're quite involved. There's something to do. They're not always the same as making your park better. Some missions will bugger up your rating for a little bit because of what you've done, but you can easily get them returned. And usually by the end of the mission, once you've sort of fixed everything, it has a net bonus because you've produced more dinosaurs and things like that, or higher rated dinosaurs often. So, it kind of helps. So yeah, like I say, they're all right. At the end of the game, it is a little bit more of a nightmare though, because some of the missions towards the end of the game are a lot more things go wrong, and then you have bigger, complex, more impressive parks, and then there's just all these knock-on effects that they have, and it really annoys me. I get really stressy sometimes, but the game is fun. It is more fun than just building a park. But what I don't like in the game, actually, I want to just say, is the control over time. This really frustrated me for the whole game. If you're waiting for something, so let's say you start an island, you often don't have that much money and you're not bringing in that much money. So you're trying to save up to get good things, but you have no way of speeding up time. And you just sort of sat there. You can't do anything. You can't buy anything. You've just got to get waiting, and it's not always the best recording. I did debate quite often cutting that stuff out, but I did just kind of leave it in the end because it's maybe a minute or two. There was one that might have been like 5 minutes, and that to me was a bit annoying that you couldn't do that. And then I think the other flip side to that is you can't stop or slow down time. Now this was more because if I'm trying to build an enclosure, I don't want things getting thrown at me, but I think it's a bit more Jurassic World based, because let's be honest, if you're running Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, in all the films, multiple things go wrong. That's kind of its jam. Things go wrong one after another. So if they just let you pause the game while you see and still do things, you could stop all the other chaos happening. You could fix things and sort things out, and it'd be much more controlled. And you're probably not getting the real Jurassic Builder experience. But it didn't stop me hating it when fucking one dinosaur's out and then another one's out, and then they go and have a fight. And the amount of times they'd have a fight, and it'd be like a mission critical dinosaur, and I'd fail the mission because they killed one of them. I used to hate that when it would happen. It was so annoying because sometimes you'd have to go really far back to a save point. I'd lose maybe 2 hours worth of work. Oh, that was... I know why they're doing it, but if I'm honest, it did annoy me. Is all I'm saying. Just, it's just frustrating, but I can see why. Just the speed, not one I don't get. Why can't they let you do that? Why can't you have double speed? Just waiting for dinosaurs to be produced or money to save up. It didn't really do much to help the game immersion, I would have said. But I'm going to say they're the main issue. That's the biggest thing I had with the game. Everything else I really quite liked. Oh, wait, no. Wait. The other the other annoyance is when all the buildings are quite big and chunky, and they have this like border around them on the game that you can't overlap. These things are, but there's this weird border that never gets used. There's just like this gap, and some of them have a bigger border than the others that won't let things go together. And yet you then move them somewhere else and they can then go together. I never quite understood it. And the ground impact below, it seemed to throw them all off. So it made it really hard to make compact areas in the park. Now, generally, you've got loads of areas to build into, and it's not that big a deal. I think Isle of Pen is the only one where you get a bit close, if you're trying to do 5 stars anyway. But yeah, I just like to have straight lines sometimes and everything sort of in a row when you're doing like the guest buildings and things like that. A little bit of OCD, not massively, but a little bit. It just frustrated me why you couldn't do it. Why it just wouldn't let you put all these buildings together. And then when there was clearly a plot big enough, like there'd be a massive plot around it, and yet it wouldn't let me put it in. The Claire Sanctuary playthrough, go watch that. That was the worst example of it, really. And it just really annoyed me. But yeah, that was irritating. But yeah, like those two problems, the timing and the building locations, the minor issues, they're just more irritating than I think problems. But yeah. So obviously we'll go back to the main gameplay of getting the 5 stars then. Let's do that. So you build up on your island, you have certain standard buildings you have to do that you can sort of research and go find fossils, and then you get the DNA from the fossils, and then you can produce said dinosaurs, and then you do the guest buildings as well to make them happy. So each dinosaur has a rating, and then each island you have to produce X amount of different species of dinosaur, and you have to hit a certain aggregate rating of all those dinosaurs to get 5 stars. That's it. It's basically it. You can get penalized. You get a little penalized for welfare and things like that, but that's the broad thing for the dinosaurs. And then for the guests, they have a rating to meet all their needs. So as long as you meet all their needs, you sort of get 5 stars, have enough hotels and things like that, enough transport. And then the average of those two things create you the 5-star park. Quite simple. It's quite a good system. I would have said having like an average of different things, it just means you can focus on one thing. Because actually I think the weighting is towards the dinosaurs, because you can often not have perfect guest facilities, but if you have far more dinosaurs than you're meant to, a much higher rating, it seems to get you to 5 stars. I found there is also a view system on there where you can find out where you specifically need to put guest items, guest food and drink, toilets and things like that. Use that. That started saving me so much time when I found that at the end. I couldn't believe I didn't know what that was. I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is a basic. And once I'd done that, getting 5 stars was super easy for me at the end. There are other things like you can change dino genes to make them different colors. chill them out more, make them angrier, and just make them better ratings or even worse ratings if you really wanted to. But that game kind of talks you through that, and I was doing it, but I was kind of doing it just to get the rating, not the changing the temperament. To be honest, it was a bit much. I'd have thought. I don't think I needed to go into that much detail, should we say? So I just kind of didn't really do it. Just got the rating, but you can play around with stuff like that. Overall, it's a nice, chill game, except the odd mission where, like I say, everything goes completely wrong. And it seriously would take hours. I think Isla Sorna getting 5 stars. Everything went wrong just before I was going to get 5 stars. And it took me forever to get everything back in place. But it's more me that was at fault probably than the game, really. So if you've played a frontier simulation game, you can basically play this, I'd say. Everything else teaches you. I do want to say the game looks amazing. Seriously, I know it's quite old. It's a PS4 game. But seriously, it looks so good. It looks so good on there. I really do think it's designed really well. I think the dinosaurs all look pretty good. I know they're not all paleo accurate, but I like them. I think they look quite cool and good. So yeah, like it looks really good. I'm just glad I played it. I'm glad you guys uppicked it. I've ordered Jurassic World Evolution 2, so we can play that soon. And then hopefully we'll get Jurassic World Evolution 3 released this year. I keep hearing rumours about whether it's going to be this year. And then it seems to be getting really short time frame. I think if it's not announced in June, I think if it's announced, it has to be early July, worst case scenario. And that's just to go with the film. I would have thought they've announced it by now in June. But if they think the film is going to give them a massive boost, then I think that is. But if the film's out and we haven't heard anything about it, I don't think we're going to get it this year. Because a YouTuber called Best in Slot, go follow him. He's awesome for this sort of stuff. But he was saying that it's in the Frontier business plan to be released this business year. So that's up to March next year. So, yeah, I mean, that could be it. Go check it out. Check out that video from there. I'll link his channel up so you can go look at him. I don't know him, but I think he's quite cool. So go check him out. But before I talk about the DLCs, which is just going to be a main recap of what they add to the game, really, rather because they don't change the game too fundamentally. So I just want to sort of recap them, and I'm gonna do it at the end. I just want to say my recap of the proper game, the main game, the base game, is I really enjoy it. My issues are minor, they're frustrations, like I say, because I think it's like it's so close to being an amazing, perfect game. And it's just those bits that take me out of it a little bit because I get frustrated. So yeah, I think that is the bigger issue rather than, oh my God, all this doesn't work or it's just rubbish. I think it just is tweaks that could improve the gameplay. But I want you guys, let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts of it? Have you played it? Did you 5-star everything? I did. That was kind of the challenge for me. It's not that hard once you get towards the end. I don't think it's that difficult. But if you go down the wrong path, you can get yourself stuck and you'd have to start. But did you enjoy it? Why not? If you didn't enjoy it, have you played Jurassic World Evolution 2? Do I need any specific tips or tricks? Let me know in the comments below. And what about Jurassic World Rebirth? What about Jurassic World Evolution 3? We've got lots of Jurassic stuff related. It's all world, isn't it? Jurassic World stuff to talk about. So subscribe. Yes, I'm back. I'm not doing a whole introduction. Literally, we're just talking about DLCs. We'll let everybody else go out the way. I just wanted to sort of split it a little bit because it was getting quite long and I also needed a quick drink of water. So we're going to talk about, obviously, the first one, which I believe was the first one they released, which is Secrets of Dr. Wu. So it's the only DLC that is accessed through the main game screens. So you have the individual islands and you can select which one you want as you unlock them. But once you've got the DLC, it unlocks 2 other ones that you can play. One you can unlock about halfway through the gameplay, but the other one I don't think you can finish until you finish the main game. So it's like a separate story, but it's accessed alongside the main story. And it's about creating new hybrids that don't exist in the Jurassic World world. That's not the best phrasing, but you know what I mean. So it takes you to 2 secret parks, I've said. The first is fairly normal, where you focus more on gene editing and you get a little bit of the background about why we're doing this. Like, Wu wants to do lots of dodgy things with genes and he's asking us to help him. But it's the second one, which is the main one for the DLC. It's only small. It can be quite hard to get everything in, but the dinosaurs you create are so high ranked that the 5 stars quite easy to get. But it's about getting creating new hybrids. So you've got the Ankylosaurus, the Stegoceratops, the Spinoraptor, and then 2 that we all know from the films, the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor. Basically, you create each one as part of a mission. You start with the Ankylosaurus because it's the easiest one, and you sort of work through the missions doing stuff. But the Spinoraptor one is the hard. I'm going to say it can be the hardest mission. My tip: don't over edit your Spinoraptor before releasing it, because it is almost impossible to kill it. You have to then try and kill it with other dinosaurs, and if you make it too strong, it won't flipping die. That was my problem that I had. So don't do that. Make it just the minimum that Dr. Wu tells you to do by making like cosmetic changes. Don't make aggressive gene design and make it really strong. That was my problem. So yeah, go check it out. It's an absolute nightmare. So yeah, apart from the new hybrids, there isn't much else to do. And you just can't complete the second island until you completed the base game, because I think it's the Indoraptor you need to unlock, and that's only by completing one of the missions on either sauna, if I remember. So I think it's the biggest DLC, but I'm also going to say it's the least interesting, despite the crazy hybrids, which are quite cool. But it's much like the base game. So yeah. But right, Claire's Sanctuary is the second one. And this one probably changes the gameplay the most. And it's the DLC that's related to the Fallen Kingdom film when that was released. So, right, so you start on an island. We've got sick dinos all around. Not like sick, like sick. But you're not building a park on this one. You basically are just going around. You're trying to cure them all. And then when you finally cure them, the volcano explodes. So very much like start of Fallen Kingdom, see? And you only can rescue a few of them. And then you go to a new island called Sanctuary, where Claire wants to build a sanctuary. Yeah, no. Really, really well thought out, that one. But she wants to build a sanctuary for the dinos, but it actually is still going to be a park open to the public. So you start to go for 5 stars. Or I did. So the biggest challenge here is the new element it adds. It's called paleobotany. Basically, for herbivores, you have to give them the correct plants for them that they like. Every herbivore has a plant it likes the most, sort of 2 or 3 it's okay with, and then some that give it negative effects. So the bonuses you get by getting it right, longer life, welfare bonuses, rating bonuses, and then you get the other side if you get it wrong, so you obviously get negative impacts on it, like on lifespan. It can take a bit of balancing, as not all herbivores like all other plants. A lot of types of herbivores, so the what are you going to say? So sort of like all the Ankylosaurus, the Ankylosaurus, those plated animals, they often like the same. The Triceratops and Sinoceratops, that gene area, whatever they are, they all like similar. So you can kind of do them. But if you've got a proper mixed paddock, some will like it, some won't. But they all eat from all of them. So you can't just put 2 different feeders in and put one kind of food in that one and a different kind of food in that, because they don't just go to it, they go to them all. So it's a bit irritating for that, and I apologise that is really shaking, but my cat is just climbing on the table now. Hey Anna, what are you doing there? Oh dear. So it adds a different element to it, and I imagine she's going to jump off in a minute and it's all going to go crazy. Stupid. Come on Anna, down, off. There you go, told you. So it can be a bit annoying, but it's only for like 2 missions. really, and then you can take them all out and put the normal feeders back in, and they're all good. But effectively what you can do is the park's sanctuary's quite big, so you can just separate all the herbivores if you've really got a problem with it. I tried to balance it a little bit. It went all right, I think, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna keep saying check that out, but it's all under Claire's Sanctuary. So, but this had the worst looking dinosaur of all in the whole game, an Albertosaurus. Just look at it. Just look at it. Oh my god. It is awful. It looks so like slimy and fake. It's like they didn't fully design it. Now, I'll apologise to an Albertosaurus if that's what they really look like or what we believe they actually look like. But to me, compared to all the other dinosaurs in the game, it just looks like totally different. It just doesn't look finished. So I really didn't like it. Worst looking dinosaur. She's going to jump up again. She's climbing up. But for me, it's the worst DLC of the three. We're ignoring obviously the animal packs, dinosaur packs. It's just a bit boring, but it is probably the most it's the most gameplay different, I'd say. So the last one, Return to Jurassic Park. This is my favorite of the DLCs. This is probably the middle ground in terms of the gameplay, but aesthetically, it's the most different of them all, I would have said. And it's basically the precursor of Chaos Mode in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Yes, I know some bits of the second game. I have watched some people play it. So I know there's the Chaos Mode where you basically relive the films and try and fix things. So you go, the principle is after the events of Jurassic Park, you return to Jurassic Park. The film has still happened. You're not changing that kind of history. You're going back alongside Malcolm, Grant, Sattler, Hammond, and you go back to the damaged part to try and really rebuild it correctly and put it right this time and make sure nothing goes wrong. And I think it consists of 7 missions. I think it's 7 missions. You start by getting everything under control on the original part, getting all the dinosaurs back into places. And then you go to Sauna, which is obviously Site B, which is the Lost World, which hasn't happened. But you go there and fix up that island so that it can produce dinosaurs again, which is obviously what it was going to do in the world building of Jurassic films. And then you go back to Isla Nublar to actually build the park, continue building the park, make it a proper park. And so the view of what Hammond is. So they've built. So what's the main thing here is aesthetically they've changed the buildings to match what it would have been or what the aesthetic is back there. So you don't have the same items as you do in the main game. You have fewer guest buildings. You have you don't have separate research centers and things that are all done through the main visitor center. You have a helipad that brings in the guests rather than a monorail and also brings in the dinosaurs, which I guess is fair enough. Because you don't produce them on Nublar. The fences are what they are on the original film, and the power plant is geothermal like it was in the original film. So yeah, it's just like an aesthetic thing, really. The missions are pretty good on this one as you go through. They're quite easy, but they're pretty good, and you get the rewards for it. You also have the factions, so you have Hammond, Sattler, and Grant. But they don't sabotage you if you upset them. They basically just don't get rewards, and you don't have to get certain rewards from them to unlock missions. I didn't get everything from them. I just did the missions and got 5-star when I was doing it. So I think it's fair enough. It's just good fun, and the dialogue's far more fun. And also, oh my god, the best bit of it is they bring a young Cabot Finch in it. So obviously in the base game and the other DLCs, it's set when Jurassic World was 2010, something like that, I think. So he's an older guy. This guy, it's like his first job. I think he's a Hammond's friend's son. So he's all like really young and naive, but it's still Cabot Finch. He's great. He's so good. So that's the one to pick if you're only going to play one DLC, I would say. And once you've completed each of the DLCs, the items are unlocked in sandbox mode, so you can mix them all up. I don't think you can do them in the base game unless maybe you've completed all the missions and done 5 stars on an island. Maybe you can go back and restart it with all the items. Not sure, Let me know if that is the case, because then I can make sure everyone knows. Everyone can see in the comments then. So that is where I'm going to leave it. Thank you for putting up with me and my randomness. Hopefully it won't be too long till we get my next review. I've just got to finish Final Fantasy VIII. The greatest game of all time. Anyway, no, not getting into that one. So yeah, guys, I'll see you soon here on Ed R Gaming. Cheers.